Grand risings, like a can of biscuits. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you all doing? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Miss Jennifer, Mama V, Miss Shirley and Ford. Hey, TT Trisha, how you doing? Or T Trisha, I'm sorry. TT, like Auntie, how you doing? Hey, Miss Ramona. Bama girl says it's raining, so I'm still in bed. I know that's right. Hey, Miss Edna. Hey, Miss Felicia. Good morning, y'all. I would assume that you guys can hear me, right? Let's see. I'm doing a million things. I'm working at the same time, but I'm doing a million things. Okay, y'all can't hear me. Actually, y'all can hear me really clear and good too. All right. Good morning, everyone. Again, I hope you. Hey, Mama Bees. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm gonna start this show off really quick with this. All right. So first and foremost, I do want to send prayers to Jamaica. In case if y'all don't know, there is because there's so much of a distraction going on right now that a lot of people don't know, unfortunately. But there is a really, really bad storm that is headed toward Jamaica. They are actually also, it's hurricanes. They are also saying that Jamaica will be unnoticed. People will not be able to notice Jamaica after this storm hits Jamaica. But we want to pray a different prayer, right? And we want to pray that God calms the seas, so that everyone can be well over in Jamaica. All right. But again, I couldn't start this show off without the prayers of the righteous reaching Jamaica. Okay. So if we can just take a moment to lift those people up in prayer. I know that we have other things going on with the government shutdown, SNAP benefits being stripped. There's literally a lot going on in this world, and so we should be grateful. We should be grateful. It was 28 people up in here. I lost 5 people. I hope those 5 people are grateful. I hope the 23 people here listening are grateful. We woke up this morning. We woke up this morning. We are in our right mind. And so we have something to be grateful for. So I think it is definitely important that we send prayers over to Jamaica. All right. Also, I did share this to my community wall. And you guys, I think what makes this, what it is the fact that, we don't have we have so many people that are no longer working, that have been furloughed, that are, so it's a lot going on, and we want to make sure that we send prayers up because, again, the national weather system, all of the things, listen, it's not like it used to be. Okay. And so we're just praying that everyone is okay in the path of this hurricane. I don't even know what the name of this hurricane is. Hold on. uh Melissa. I knew that. Melissa. So it's Hurricane Melissa. I have seen pictures of the hurricane. It's a category 5, and they are saying that the pictures itself look demonic, and I would have to honestly agree. Um, they look horrible. The pictures look horrible. So we're praying for Jamaica and anyone else in the path of Hurricane Melissa. All right. All right, y'all. So we are also praying and keeping everyone in prayer about the SNAP benefits. Today is the 27th. So today, unfortunately, we know it's very unfortunate, but we know that the government is not opening back up today. Um, and so with that being said, I mean, let's unless something comes through and sweeps it clean. Other than that, I don't see any any movement as far as the government shutdown being over. So here we are, where we're going to have millions of people who are going to be without because of the SNAP benefits. Now, I do encourage you all, if you were receiving SNAP, there are a lot of local, I would say churches, but we're going to get into that in just a minute. I swear for God, we're going to get into the churches in just a minute. But there are a lot of community places that are providing resources. Um, Here in Texas, I just saw an article yesterday about the National Food Bank um, taking major cuts and cutting major things. And so there are a lot of resources that are being affected, but then there are a lot of resources that are available for people who unfortunately will not get those SNAP benefits. All right, especially for the Thanksgiving holiday. Um, y'all know I told y'all last week that y'all could talk about, and we'll talk about this more when we talk about the church topic. I'm gonna talk about Latrice first, then we're gonna talk about the church, because the church has worn me thin. And so there are a lot of places that you can find local resources for. Okay, so I just want to stress that there are local places. You just need to probably Google, right? I don't think it'll hurt you to Google for a little bit to try to find you some resources available in your area. Okay. And if I find some as I do certain things, I will make sure that I'll post them for you guys. All right. All right. Good morning to everybody coming in. Good morning to everybody coming in. We got Lady Hustlenet, Miss Shelley, Tiffany, Steven. Let me see. Bama Girl, Miss Ramona, Miss Felicia, CC, which is Grown Woman Don't Try Me. I knew that. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Aunt Natty. Let me see. Who else? I don't want to miss nobody. Okay, I think I spoke to everybody. All right. So here's how this live is going to go. I'm doing a million things at one time, but we're going to talk about Bishop Winans. We're going to go over and talk about no, I'm sorry. We're going to start with Latrice. Then we'll go to Bishop Winans, and then we'll go to um Bernard Jordan. I heard the government shutdown will not reopen until the end of November. They are trying to wait until the ACA expires, which so that means for the month of November. I mean, for the month of December, people aren't going to get their SNAP benefits either. Mm. And then keep in mind, when people go back to work, some people are not going back to a job. But during this whole time right now, while the government is shut down, they can't find any other work. It's horrible. It is horrible right now, y'all. It is horrible. It is horrible. All right, so let's go ahead and get into Latrice Rodgers from Belle Collective really quick. I'm going to read the statements of facts in this lawsuit, and then I'm going to move on to the church, because I have a lot to say about the church, and especially about Bishop Bernard Jordan and his thought process. I'm just here to tell y'all I don't agree. But we'll get into it a little bit further. Anytime during this live, if you'd like to be a blessing to the platform, you can. I will put that there. I do know that there are some people that are still willing to bless the platform. So it is there if you would like to bless the platform. So let's go ahead and get into this lawsuit, child. Hold on. And from what I hear, this ain't gonna be Latrice only lawsuit. They say they coming down on you, my good girl. All right, so this is between Madison Carter and Taste Bar and Grill LLC. Okay, I did hear Really B did read this yesterday. Shout out to my good sis Really B. She did read this lawsuit yesterday. So I just want to help the people really quick when it comes to business and registering your business, right? So here it does say that Taste LLC, Taste Bar and Grill LLC is the registered agent is Latrice Rodgers. In most cases, even if you're married, you only have one registered agent for your LLC. Most in most states, they only allow you to have one registered agent for the LLC. So it could be the primary person who receives mail. It doesn't have to necessarily be the person whose name is on the business. It could be whoever you want to receive that mail. So let's just say Latrice handles all of that when it comes to the business, the paperwork and all of that. And then say Cliff handles all the other stuff. Well, the thing would be on his LLC, he can only, or on their LLC, they can only have one registered agent, and Latrice serves as the registered agent. It's not far fetched. Basically, is what I'm saying. It's not far fetched. If you have a couple who is in business together, typically the person who handles the paperwork is going to be the registered agent. So I just want to help you out with that. All right. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Miss T. Trisha, for your Cash App. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that was some business tips in case y'all didn't know that. Did they help somebody? It's just a little business tip. So when you register your LLC, and see, this is why some of y'all needed to listen to the summit, because we had someone help us with this stuff. But again, when you register your LLC, it's actually a choice. You can actually have a third party registered agent. So like for my business, I'm not the registered agent for my business. I pay a third party person to be a registered agent for my business. And if any type of legal things come down on my business, they'll be notified first. And they are the ones who will take the paperwork and do all the things. Did that make sense? Just in case if y'all didn't know that. Did that make sense? Can I get a thumbs up? I just want to make sure y'all hear me. uh, I said that in Really Be Chat yesterday, but I don't think I said it in good terms. Y'all know me and typing and texting ain't friends. We ain't friends. I hope the orange man know that he's not only hurting the recipients of SNAP, but the grocery store chains as well. I Natty, he don't care. He don't care. That's the problem. I tell people all the time the man only cares about himself. And that's it. He only cares about himself. Be clear. He only cares about himself. I told my son this weekend to listen to the summit. Yes, listen to the summit. I promise you, it'll help you out. It'll help you out. It was some really good information that was provided. But let's go ahead and get into this lawsuit. Okay, so it says, come now, the plaintiff, Madison Carter, by and through her counsel, Watson and Norris P. LLC, brings this action to recover damages for violations of her rights pursuant to the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, for unpaid minimum wages and unpaid overtime, violations for her rights pursuant to Title, I don't know what number that is, of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 for retaliation, violations of her rights pursuant to Title whatever, Civil Rights 1964 for sex discrimination and violations of her rights pursuant to Title whatever, Civil Rights Act of 1964, and for sexual harassment against the defendants, against the defendant. They put that twice, I think. Against the defendant, Taste Bar and Grill LLC. In support of this case, the plaintiff would show unto court the following facts. All right, so let's get into the facts. Again, if y'all are just joining us, we are reading the lawsuit about Latrice Rodgers. All right. Plaintiff Madison Carter is a adult female who resides in Rankin County, Mississippi. A defendant Taste Bar and Grill can be served and processed by serving its registered agent. Okay, so that means the process server serves the registered agent. And again, Latrice could have paid somebody to be her registered agent. That way, her name wouldn't be actually involved in the lawsuit as far as her name specifically. Got it? All right. And somebody else asked this question too. Why didn't she sue Cliff himself? I'm sure the reason why she didn't sue Cliff himself is because she already had an EEOC complaint out. And if you have an EEOC complaint out and it's to the business, it's better to sue the business than maybe the individual person. Now, do I think she should have sued Cliff individually? I do. But I'm just assuming based off of the EEOC complaint and discrimination, that's the reason why she sued the business. All right, so the court has federal question jurisdiction pursuant to Fair Labor Standards Act. The court has subject matter jurisdiction and the venue is proper for this court. Plaintiff filed a charge of discrimination with the EEOC on October the 12th, October the 18th of 2024. A true and correct copy, which is attached as Exhibit A, the EEOC issued a notice of right to sue on May the 19th of 2025. A true and correct copy of which is attached as Exhibit B. Plaintiff timely files this action within 90 days of the receipt of her notice of right to sue. So again, that explains why she's suing the business pretty much to me. It explains why she's suing the business and not Cliff himself. All right, so plaintiff is a 24-year-old female resident in Mississippi. Plaintiff was hired on June the 3rd of 2024 as a bar manager at Taste Bar and Grill, LLC. TBG is owned by Cliff, and that's Taste Bar and Grill, is owned by Cliff and Latrice Rodgers. Around the end of May 2024, Mr. and Ms. Rodgers offered plaintiff employment at Taste Bar and Grill as a bar manager. Mr. Rodgers and plaintiff agreed that I promise y'all, sit tight and just listen, because this gets very interesting, because I got a lot of questions. This gets interesting. Hit that like button though. And somebody complained this morning about me saying hit the like button. Hit the like button, please. Mr. Rodgers and plaintiff agreed that Mr. Carter would be paid. I believe who is Mr. Carter? Who the hell is Mr. Carter? Oh, Madison is a man. That thing said a female, didn't it? Who wrote this lawsuit? Yeah, I just read this line. It say plaintiff Madison Carter is an adult female who resides in Mississippi. Then when I get down here to this, it's a Mr. Rodgers and plaintiff agreed that Mr. Carter would be paid $20 per hour and would receive a bonus for designing the drink menu, hiring all bartenders, and training the wait staff. On August the 31st of 2024, plaintiff worked at an event catered by the defendant for the Rodgers family reunion. One of Mr. Cliff Rodgers' cousins, Antonio Rodgers, approached plaintiff and began chatting with her. Later in the evening, Mr. Antonio Rodgers placed his arm around plaintiff's waist. He then showed her 2 blue pills and asked if she wanted to take one. Plaintiff responded with no, and that she already takes medication prescribed by her doctor. What the hell? Mr. Antonio then said, "Do you want one of these X pills?" Oh my God. So you was referring to the ecstasy. That's horrible. The plaintiff declined and went back behind the bar for to make a few drinks. A few minutes later, Mr. Antonio Rodgers stood very close to the plaintiff and quickly put one of the pills in her mouth. Say what now? Say what now? Hey, Omar. Say what now? A few minutes later, Mr. Rodgers stood very close to the plaintiff and quickly put one of the pills in her mouth. How? Okay. He then instructed her to swallow the pill and meet him in the bathroom in 30 minutes. Plaintiff responded by removing his arm from around her waist and quickly walked away from Mr. Antonio Rodgers. She then took the pill out of her mouth. What? Okay. Plaintiff then went to the kitchen manager, Chef T, name unknown, handed her the blue pill and explained to her what had just happened. Chef T escorted the plaintiff to the bathroom to wash her mouth out, and then they went together to report what had happened to Mr. Clifton, and Miss Rodgers. What the? Listen, L Teddy, I mean, you and me both. But where did the pill? Hey, Mocha Drop. We talking about Latrice. This is a lawsuit that's on Latrice Rodgers for Belle Collective, y'all. I, I gotta read that one more time, y'all, because I don't understand. Hold on. Later that evening, Mr. Antonio placed his arms around the plaintiff's waist. He then showed her a blue pill and asked her if she wanted to take one. Plaintiff responded with no, and then that she already takes medication subscribed by her doctor. Mr. Antonio Rodgers then said, "Do you want one of these X pills?" referencing ecstasy, MDMA. Plaintiff declines and went back behind the bar to make a few drinks. A few minutes later, Mr. Antonio stood very close to the plaintiff and quickly put one of the pills in her mouth. He then instructed her to swallow the pill and meet him in the bathroom in 30 minutes. Plaintiff responded by removing his arm from around her waist and quickly walked away from Mr. Rodgers. Now, I ain't trying to be technical or nothing like that, but if you said he had his hand around your waist and asked you if you wanted the pill, and then you say he walked away, and then you say minutes later he came back, so he must have put his arm back around your waist again. I'm sorry, young lady, but it only be so many times you finna put your arms around my waist after I already told you to remove your damn hand. It don't sound right, but I ain't gonna be the one to say it, okay? Y'all, I'm just reading y'all the lawsuit, okay? I'm just reading y'all the lawsuit, but okay. Let's keep going because it gets even more interesting. Plaintiff then went to the kitchen manager, Chef T, unknown name, handed her the blue pill and explained to her what had just happened. So if you handed her the blue pill was in your mouth. How long was it in your mouth? It didn't dissolve or nothing like that. Okay. I'm I'm just trying to get an understanding. That's all. Chef T escorted plaintiff to the bathroom to wash her mouth out, and then they went together to report what had happened to Mr. Clifton and Miss Rodgers. When plaintiff explained what had happened to Mr. Clifton and Miss Latrice Rodgers, Mr. Clifton seemed either not to understand or to not hear what was being said, i.e., he was intoxicated. Oh, I was about to defend him, but if he intoxicated, okay. Miss Rodgers, however, heard and understood what, and she actually responded by telling the plaintiff that she did the right thing to notify herself and Mr. Cliff about it. A few minutes later, Mr. Clifton instructed Mr. Antonio Rodgers to leave the party. About 30 minutes later, Mr. Clifton Rodgers approached plaintiff and demanded plaintiff explain again what had happened. Plaintiff explained to Mr. Clifton what had happened previously, i.e., that Mr. Rodgers had attempted to get plaintiff to take a pill, i.e., apparently MDMA, with the likely intention of actually assaulting her in the bathroom. Because I was going to ask, why would a male, first of all, why would you give, and I'm just saying if this is hypothetically true, this is accusations, y'all. But just saying if this was hypothetically true, That would mean you was trying to do something with her if you're telling her to take this pill and go to the bathroom. I'm just saying. I can admit that. That's a little weird. At that point, Mr. Clifton became heated and yelled at that plaintiff, and I believe that too. Plaintiff should have told only him. Why? So you can cover it up. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? At that point, Mr. Clifton became heated and yelled that the plaintiff should have only told him, i.e., only Mr. Clifton Rodgers and not Miss Latrice Rodgers, about the incident. After the party ended on September the 8th of 2024, Mr. Clifton Rodgers emailed plaintiff and wrote, "In carefully consideration, we have decided to terminate your position as bar manager at Taste Bar and Grill effective immediately. I want you to know that this decision was not made lightly. It comes after some concerning incidents that we've discussed previously. In particular, there was an incident where you accused a customer of rugging you, which, after reviewing the security footage, I could not find any proof. You should have reviewed the security footage with her, Cliff. On September the 10th of 2024, plaintiff went to see Mr. Rodgers in person. I wouldn't have went by myself. Plaintiff began by asking him why he fired her for notifying him of what his cousin did. Mr. Clifton Rodgers responded by saying he did not care and that it was drama. Mr. Clifton Rodgers then argued that he never stated that the plaintiff was fired. Plaintiff responds by reminding Mr. Clifton that he had told her that he was terminating her in writing in an email that was sent the previous day. Mr. Clifton Rodgers then became heated and stated that the defendant was fired and that he did not care if she was drugged or not. Girl. On October the 18th of 2024, plaintiff filed an EEOC charge of actual discrimination, actual harassment, and retaliation against Taste Bar and Grill. On February the 28th of 2025, in response to the plaintiff's charge, Taste Bar and Grill submitted a position statement to the EEOC. Now, y'all, if y'all don't know how the EEOC works, it works just like any other. It worked just like a bank dispute, honey. They got to get the information on both sides. Okay, so Taste Bar and Grill's position statement alleges that Latrice and Clifton Rodgers, Mr. and Mrs. Rodgers, owners of Taste Bar and Grill LLC, located in Jackson, Mississippi. Taste Bar and Grill consists of a cigar bar, a lounge, and a restaurant. It was not in operation during the CP's employment. And the CP is the person who filed the EEOC complaint, but was in the startup phase when she and a few other employees were hired to begin preparations to open Taste Bar and Grill. Notably, Taste only had 2 employees for several months until rising to 9 employees toward the end of August. CP was terminated on September the 8th of 2024 before Taste opened in latter part of September of 2024. So just to kind of set what's going on here, I believe if you have under 9 employees, if you have under 7 employees, something with the EEOC, something. So what they're trying to do is set it up to where her EEOC complaint is not valid because they didn't have enough employees to create that environment, basically. Plaintiff contends this allegation falsely mischaracterizes significant events that occurred. Plaintiff contends that when she first was hired, Taste Bar and Grill had not opened yet for official business. She contends that this is false. However, there were only 9 employees employed by Taste Bar and Grill when she was terminated on September the 8th of 2024, as alleged. On August 25th of 2024, Mr. Rodgers texted plaintiff and wrote, how many bar attended you got higher? Although the wording is awkward, Mr. Rodgers was essentially asking, how many bartenders have you hired? In response to this text, plaintiff's text 12 so far. Moreover, plaintiff contends that she personally hired around 20 employees who participated in two 4-hour training sessions that were required to clock in and out for those sessions. It goes on to say that those training sessions occurred on August the 28th of 2024, primarily focused on bartenders, and on August the 29th of 2024, primarily focused on servers, which were notably before Rodgers' reunion party on August the 31st, 2024, and were certainly prior to the date the plaintiff was terminated. Taste Bar and Grill position statement alleged that CP, the bar manager, an assistant bar manager, and a bartender were hourly employees brought on to set up the bar menu before opening the bar. CP was engaged to assist with the opening of Taste Bar and Grill, and specifically to get the bar open and operated. At the time, Mr. and Mrs. Rodgers were still in the process of acquiring permits and putting things in place for the planned opening. Taste Bar and Grill hired its first employees, a chef and a sous chef, in early 2024, and added CP along with 6 other individuals to prepare the bar for the restaurant's opening. 6 other hourly employees were brought on, one to serve as general manager, and the remaining 5 to set up the kitchen and food menu for the restaurant. All were at-will employees. During charging party's employment and at the end of her discharge, Taste had a maximum of 9 employees. Since September the 11th of 2024, Taste has had over 15 employees. I don't really, y'all, I'm sorry, I don't really care about that. I want to get to the nitty gritty. So basically, I'm gonna just summarize this for y'all because I really don't have all day. I probably will read this in a separate what's the name? But basically, let me just sum up the rest of these pages. They're basically saying, based on the EEOC complaint and based on her, they're saying that the dates don't match, right? So essentially, she's saying that Cliff and Latrice asked her. Remember, the bar didn't open until late September 2024. Their family reunion was from August to September. So it's like the last weekend in August to September, right? Or it was the last weekend in August leading up to September, like September the 1st, September the 2nd, something like that. Okay, so basically, she's alleging that she was hired to do a job, right? Cliff Nim is alleging, based on the EEOC complaint, they're saying that they weren't fully operating at that time, and that they were just making a little extra money on the side, or they were paying them on the side to do what they needed them to do for the family reunion. I believe she was one that was hired, and I believe they hired a chef just for the family reunion itself to serve food or drinks. She was supposed to get paid based off of her tips. Her and another person was supposed to get paid based on their tips, and then the chef, he wasn't gonna get no tips. So I think it was the bartender and the server that got the tips, and then the chef didn't get tips. The chef only got, I guess, pay that they had agreed upon. I don't think that's all the way in here due to that. So basically, she's saying that plaintiff has not been paid paid a minimum wage and overtime compensation under the Fair Labor Standards Act at the rate of 1.5 per hour rate of pay. So she's saying that she didn't get any overtime. She's also suing for retaliation. So she says, it says that plaintiff realleges and incorporates all of the things from paragraph 1 through paragraph 113 above to fully incorporate herein. Defendant retaliated against plaintiff for reporting the incident of sexual harassment. So she's basically saying, hey, I came and told y'all about I came and reported this situation to y'all, and y'all fired me. Then you have sexual discrimination. The defendant discriminated against plaintiff because of her sex, female, based on the facts identified above, which is a violation of her Civil Rights Act or the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And then the last thing here, okay, so we're talking about sexual harassment. And she's suing for infliction of emotional distress and all of the things. So this is what she's asking for. And then we're going to move on to our next topic. But this is what she's asking for. Can y'all do me a huge favor? It's really simple. Can you double tap the screen for me? It is a way to hit the like button. Can we do that? I really would appreciate it. I really would appreciate it. Please, please, please. Okay, so the dollar amount I'm assuming will be discovered at trial, but they are she's asking for unpaid minimum and overtime wages, back wages, reinstatement or further wages in lieu of reinstatement, compensatory damages, punitive damages, liquidated damages, attorney fees, lost benefits, prejudgment and post-judgment interest, costs and expenses, and such further relief as determined just and proper. This is the 15th day of August of 2025. So we're just not finding out about this lawsuit, but it was filed back in August. Now, this is not the only thing that Latrice them got going on, y'all. It's not the only thing that Latrice them got going on. So just really quick, they're also in a lot of trouble with the zoning of Taste Bar and Grill. The people are complaining by saying that it is a nightclub atmosphere instead of a lounge or bar or a restaurant, right? So they're up against a lot of people. So the town hall that they had, they want to rezone, but I don't listen. I don't know how the rezoning process works and stuff like that, but from my understanding, it doesn't look like, okay, it doesn't look like the people in the neighborhood are here for Taste Bar and Grill being here. And also, according to Millie Chun, Taste Bar and Grill has also changed their name to something else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's no longer Taste Bar and Grill because somebody else already had a Taste Bar and Grill. It's something else prior to it. Wherever they are in Mississippi, I think that's what it was. And then it's Bar and Grill, Taste Bar and Grill. So that's your latest about Miss Latrice Rodgers and what her and Cliff is going through. And again, I think I explained pretty well why she didn't sue Cliff personally. And it doesn't honestly sound like she should have sued Cliff personally. I think I said that prior to. But it sounds like she's going based off of the fact that what her attorneys is telling her the right thing to do. If she already has an EEOC complaint out, it's better to go ahead and sue the business itself because the business is who represented all of these things that happened, allegedly. All right. All right, let's move on, honey. Let's move on. So let's go ahead and get into Bishop Winans, honey. It is said allegedly that Bishop Winans needs $53 million in order to build his Perfecting Faith church that he's been building for the last 30 years. Okay. Oh, we got some gifted membership. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Oh, and if y'all want the full, if y'all want somebody to read the full lawsuit, head over to Really Be TV. You can head over to her reviews channel, or you can head over to her regular channel, Really Be TV. She read the full lawsuit yesterday. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Okay, hold on. Oh, thank you, Miss Leandra. Leandra, did I say that right? Thank you so much for the gifted membership. And shout out L Teddy got it. Shout out to L Teddy. Shout out to my boo L Teddy. All right, so let's get into okay, so we was already talking about Bishop Winans. So it's been alleged, honey. So what are her residents in the condos going to think about the noise too? Well, that's one thing, Omar, but they're also saying that apparently Latrice and Cliff only got one condo and they need to sell those other condos, and they're having a problem selling those other condos based off of Cliff and Latrice. It's a lot going on over there in Jackson, Mississippi with Clifton and Latrice Rodgers. Okay, so Bishop Winans needs to come up with $53 million to build this church that they've been building. And we know that he was in the news last week for the offering. You know, he told the lady that ain't what I asked you. The $1,200 ain't what I asked you for. This line was specifically for 1,000 plus 1,000. Okay, 1,000 plus 1,000. Well, yesterday, you know, the Saints really, the Saints can, the Saints can do a lot. The Saints can do too much. So yesterday, Bishop Winans got up and he told the church that uh, Tyler Perry gave $100,000. Tyler Perry, I guess, saw the video and called and said, "I'll give you $100,000." Sir, I promise you that $100,000 is not gonna help you. Really, it's not gonna put a dent in the fact that you got to pay $53 million for that church. Okay, I'm just saying. It don't add up, Reverend. It don't add up, Bishop. Okay, but let me say this. What I also find interesting is this right here. So then he said that Bishop Patrick Wooden, you know, the one that always got something to say about the gays. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he having a session with the gays, and I'm gonna always say it. He preach about it every Sunday. He gave $2,000. Okay, he gave $2,000. Okay, so all these people calling Bishop Winans, giving Bishop Winans this money and this money and this money and this money. My next question is, what is y'all doing for the community? Because when a person is in need, and I'm just asking Bishop Winans, I'm just asking, when the people are in need, because you are building a church, do they not get the opportunity to come in and ask the church for help, especially if they didn't gave $3,000 and $4,000, they didn't gave enough to write it off on their taxes? I'm just wondering, do we help those people? Because there are a lot of people that are in need at this current moment. Are we helping those people? Or are we keeping this because we know we need to build this church that we're not gonna never really build? Well, I don't know. It's very interesting to me, y'all. But I was just thinking, okay, well, let's just say roughly you got 100,000. Let's just say roughly you got 150,000. Okay, 200,000. Roughly. Good child. They went into a praise break, and listen, ain't nothing wrong with it. But they went into a whole praise break yesterday after he got up and said that Tyler Perry donated $100,000. I mean, somebody. I saw somebody on the front row, child, before the music even started. She was gone. By the time the music started, she was tired. She was tired already. You know what I'm saying? But the Saints went into a full praise break, a full dance yesterday. Because and I'm sorry. I know a lot of y'all probably like Bishop Winans, but I have to be extremely honest here. We got to be honest. Okay? This man has been building this church for over 2 decades. Over 2 decades. Y'all going in about $100,000 that you receiving to go toward this building fund when you have to have $53 million to build this church? I want y'all to let that sink in. Let it sink in. Let that sink in. And this economy that we're currently in, what? So that 200, and I'm just being generous when I say $200,000. The $200,000 is going to do what exactly? It don't even scratch the surface. What about you 2 cement bricks for the church? I'm just saying. So I think sometimes, and by all means, you are supposed to celebrate and all of that, but I don't quite understand what was the purpose in getting up and saying, "Oh, Tyler Perry decided to donate $100,000. Hey, God. I mean, you went smack dab in, and again, I'm just trying to understand, if you ain't built this church in 20 something years, in over 2 decades, and we're currently going through a recession. These states is going through recessions, and now we're talking about building this church and it needing $53 million. Doc, I think it's wise for you to stay where you are. I do. I just think it's wise for you to stay where you at, Doc. Just use the money to pay the bills, Doc. Because you're gonna, child. Not how much did Medea donate? It's insane to me. But you know what? There will be people who will, give they all, honey. They will go take out a loan for the church. There are some people who will do it. They'll go take out a personal loan for the church, honey. They'll go take out an equity on their home for the church. For the church. But then when they need the church in return, oh, you gotta go through all this, and you gotta go through all. I heard somebody say the other day, and I thought that this was so, oh my God. Somebody said, I can't remember who said it. Can't remember where I heard it. I heard somebody say that they always give their tithes in a free will offering. Have given thousands to the church. And they said that they went to the church because their home was getting ready to be foreclosed on. And it wasn't even a double thousand amount. I want to say it was like 3,000, something like that. And she said in probably 2 months, she's giving the church $3,000. Said that she went to the church, not Bishop Winer's church to be exact, y'all. I don't want to tie this up with his church. I'm just saying church in general. She said she went to the church, asked the church for some help, pay her tithes, do all of the things that she's supposed to do. And they sent her to the Catholic Church. And they sent her to the Catholic Church. Sent it to the Catholic Church. Now, let's just keep in mind that these preachers and pastors get to ride around here in Rolls Royces. They get the fly first class. And if it was on their own coin, it wouldn't be this way. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm sorry, but we're here to have the conversation today. This is what it is. This is what y'all choose to do. Right? Y'all get to pick which car you want to drive on Sunday. I don't know, you may be in a Cullinan, honey. The next day you may be in a Maybach, and the next day you may be in this, and you may be in that. And it's all in the church name. And then when the people come to you, and see, this is why I'm finna tell y'all why I disagree with Bernard Jordan, Archbishop, Bishop, whatever. This is why I don't agree with him. And we'll get to that in just a minute. But I don't understand. I don't understand how the members and the people go broke giving to the church when the church ain't interested in giving back to you. We always talking about building community. But what are y'all doing right now? Like, what are y'all doing right now? My job is actually sending us on Friday. My job is sending us to do some community service hours. We do not have to work on Friday. You want to know why? Because we're going out and we're doing outreach through the job. I think that's dope. I do. I think it's dope. Friday, we do not have to work because you want to know why? We going to the, I ain't going to tell you where I'm going, but we going out in the community and help the community. But I want to know, is that what y'all are doing? Are y'all doing that? Or are you asking stuff from people instead of wanting to be a help in this time of need? If anything, right now, the church should be the first place that these folks call. I'm sorry. That's just the way that I feel. I feel like the church should be the first place, especially when you have given years and years of your time. I saw another video on and I can attest to this. I saw another video on, I think it was on Instagram. It was either on Instagram or TikTok, where this man was saying that his mom had went to this church for all these years, and when she died, they told him that they was going to charge to have her funeral down to a church where she paid her tithes and gave free will offerings at. So y'all, I'm sorry. This is why I choose. I still pay my tithes to a ministry. I do. I still pay my tithes, and I'm going about my business. All that other stuff, I'm not. I don't need it. I just do what the Lord requires me to do and going about my business. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Same thing happened to me. When my mom died, the place gave me a ultimatum, honey, and said that if I wanted them to cancel their retreat in order to be present for the funeral services, that I was going to have to pay for where my mother was a member of, gave all of her offering, member for years. Not only that, she was also on the usher board, gave her usher dues. Not only that, she was a part of Pastor's Aid, paid Pastor's Aid dues. Not only that, she was a part of the women's ministry, which was the mission ministry, paid her dues there as well. And when I say paid dues, they were paying monthly dues on top of their free will. On top of their tithes and offering, and on top of their free will offering. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. I remember him telling me that, and I said, I told him, I said, Reverend, I ain't gonna be able to help you. I ain't gonna be able to pay you nothing. Ain't. My mother gave you way too much time to pay. Best believe we'll find a place to have her services at. We were very well connected in the city. We'll find a place to have her services at. Oh, well, I'll let you have it here. I'll let you have it here. We just won't be here. Good. I ain't need you to be here nowhere. You know what Pastor's Aid is? You ain't never heard of Pastor's Aid. Pastor's Aid has been around a long time, honey. Pastor's Aid has been around a long time, but it's the committee that supports the pastor and the family through prayer, spirituality, money, all of those things. They kind of take up money for the pastor and wife anniversary, and they assist the pastor pretty much. They assist the pastor with everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically what they do, Queen Bria. They assist the pastor. All right, so let's go ahead and get over here into Bishop Jordan. Let's get over here into Bishop Jordan and what I witnessed last night, or what I heard last night. Okay, there's a couple things that I heard last night. I would definitely tell you guys there's probably going to be a lot of people that are going to disagree with me with this, and that is A-okay. I see how many people have dropped out since we had the conversation about what the church will do to members who pay and do everything that they're supposed to do. How the church will turn around and turn it back on them. I saw the people had dropped out for that conversation. But let's see if the people come back for this conversation. So, Bishop Jordan was on William McCrae's platform last night. And I'm going to say names today. And there's a couple of things that I don't want to hear. I don't agree with. I don't like. Okay. One of those things is Bishop Jordan. I want to have this conversation with you. Can you please stop because I think that this says a lot about who you are. And this is it's a turnoff for me. It's an immediate turnoff for me. I am so sick of y'all getting up and referencing Turning Point USA and referencing Charlie Kirk. I'm here to tell you, Reverend, we don't give a damn at this point. Stop bringing that up, because what it does is it shows who you are as a person. It shows who you voted for. It shows what you go, what like it shows all of those things. This man was no Christian. So there should be no reference to Turning Point USA or Charlie Kirk about being a Christian. Miss me with that. What kind of Christian goes around and sows discord like that man did? And then y'all always want to keep bringing up Turning Point. It's an organization. It's a Christian organization. No, it's not. No, it ain't. Stop referencing that. That is so, and especially in this time, that is so ill to me. Like, why are you mentioning Turning Point USA and Charlie Damn Kirk? Why? Why? There was no Christian values on anything that he said. And I know that people like Bernard Jordan probably feel some type of way about Jamal Bryant and the other preachers who have spoke on this man. He is no Christian. He was no Christian. Okay? That's the first thing. It is so distasteful to keep bringing up Turning Point USA as if it's some sort of Christian organization that's going to help everybody do what we... No, hell no. Hell no. Stop using that. Stop using it. Now, let's keep going. So I know I'm not considered a church blogger per se, because I talk about every damn thing, right? I talk about the church. I talk about reality TV. I talk about hot topics. I talk about politics. I talk about it all over here. We don't discriminate around the conversation here. But I heard him say that the church bloggers are destroying, and I may be paraphrasing because this may not be his exact words, but he said the church bloggers are tearing down or tearing up the church community. No. See, because what I did not hear you say, and granted, there are some bloggers out here that will lie about a story to get clicks and views, and I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people. Every person that's in the church sector ain't lying on people. And if y'all wasn't doing stuff to give us nothing to talk about, we wouldn't have these issues. So now they wants to plan. They're planning a content creator or blogger type of conference or something, or a private conference that they're going to have where he's going to teach bloggers how to blog, or he's going to teach these church bloggers how to do what they need to do. I'm sorry, Bishop Jordan, but you've been quite messy. So how you going to try to teach somebody else about what to do when you've been messy? You've been hopping from platform to platform, and you may think that what you're doing is beneficial, but it's not. It's not doing anything but stirring up mess. How are you going from platform to platform? Number one, you talked about Stephen A. Smith. You talked about Larry. You have done all these things, and I'm trying to figure out if you say that the bloggers are ruining the church sector or ruining the church or whatever word you use or however you worded it, right? I'm trying to figure out why you think going from platform to platform discussing stuff that happened 2-3 weeks ago, why we still discussing it. I mean, the same thing could be said about you. I don't get what you're trying to fix. I don't get what you're trying to handle from these people. And then it's subject on who you like and who you don't like, as far as who you've invited to this whatever you're doing. It's some bullcrap if you ask me. And I don't think any of it is sincere. I don't think any of it is sincere. You want to mentor people, you want to train people, but you want to charge them $500 and $600, $1,000 to train them on some stuff, when no shade to you or your son, but y'all don't really got the numbers that other people have. I'm just saying. Y'all really got them numbers like that to be trying to get up here and help people. I saw you live the other day. You only had 47 people in your live. So I'm just trying to figure out what exactly are you going to do to help these bloggers. And again, I'm not saying everybody operates in integrity. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying everybody operate the same, because there are some people, in my opinion, that are nasty with how they deliver some of their content. It's just not my take on it. Okay. But what I do have to say again is, how are you teaching when you're consistently on these panels discussing other bloggers or discussing other people that you've been connected with? I think enough is enough. No, you didn't have to come out here and tell the public about what Stephen A. I mean, why I say Stephen A. Smith? What's his name? Matthew Stevenson. You didn't have to come out here and tell everybody that Matthew Stevenson owed you $500,000. I'm just saying, you didn't have to, but you chose to, right? So then when people say that they found it to be distasteful, you argue the fact that he's not answering your phone calls, or he's not doing this, he's not doing that. Which, granted, I understand that. I understand that he's not answering your phone calls. But what you can't do is you can't get up here and try to prophesy to people or try to use that as a way of you not being messy. You're definitely messy as well, Bishop Bernard Jordan, Archbishop. I want to be very clear about the name. Archbishop, you are absolutely messy as well. And I don't know if ain't nobody got the balls enough to say it, but I'ma say it. And my balls is hanging low. Okay? I'm just saying, you're messy as well. So I'm trying to figure out, what exactly are you teaching people? You and Manasseh have been messy. I mean, y'all, if we're gonna talk right. We're gonna talk the truth. We're gonna talk what we've been seeing. And if y'all agree with me, you know, some of y'all may be scared, but if y'all agree with me that Bishop Bernard Jordan has been messy with this entire situation with him, Larry Reed, and other bloggers, if y'all feel like he has been messy, I just want y'all to put one in the chat. Because you're going from content creator to content creator to content creator, explaining the same stuff that happened a week or 2 weeks ago. It's messy. And how do you get to pick and choose? How do you get to pick and choose who gets to be a part of this blogger sphere where, oh, the bloggers are ruining the church. The bloggers are doing this to the church. The bloggers are, you that is insane to me. That is insane to me to say. No, if the church didn't give us nothing to talk about, if these leaders didn't give us nothing to talk about, we wouldn't have this. And I'm just saying, how does a leader get up and continue to move how you've been moving? And I tried to just do my video on when what he did with Larry Reed, or what him and Larry Reed had going on. I just tried to do my video and move on from it. But I happened to see that he was live on William's platform yesterday, and yes, I did see William and what's his name, Brian Carn. Brian Carn told William he need to repent. Well, Brian Carn, you need to repent too. If William need to repent, you need to repent. Anyway, anyhow, what he said for making up stories. Now, I'm just saying, Brian Corn, your mere existence and the things that you be doing out here, you need to repent too. But I will have to admit to y'all, Brian Corn can be funny. But back to Bishop Jordan. Even yesterday, and I don't know who was in Williams' chat, and I don't know if y'all will say y'all was in Williams' chat last night, but here's another thing that got me. This man never answered the question about this current administration and what this current administration is going through, or what they're doing. What he does in turn is he see it in the spirit. You know, I see a prophecy And um, there are going to be so many people without jobs after the shutdown. So we know that. Can you give us something that we don't know? Can you give us something that we don't know? I told y'all a couple weeks ago when he said he was prophesying that. That's no prophecy. That's not a prophecy. I'm sorry. That is no prophecy. Why are we talking about that's a prophecy when we know common sense to people who have read the daggum news and know the news and know what's going on in this country? They know that that's going to happen. How is that prophetic? I know I'm stepping on a lot of toes this morning, but I'm just asking a question. How is it prophetic for you to say, oh, we're doing this government shutdown. After the government shutdown happens, there are going to be so many people that ain't going to have no job. Do we not already know that? What is the church going to do for them people? Because you want to talk about what bloggers are going to do for the church. Well, what is church leaders and what is the church going to do for the people who you say you prophesy that ain't going to have no job after the shutdown is over? Help me understand. Help me understand. I'm 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 trying to get an understanding. And last night I put in William's chat. I'm still waiting on the answer about what is going on with this current administration. Bishop Bernard Jordan, I gotta say this. Every time you open up your mouth about anything political, anything having to do with politics, or anything with what this current country is going through, it actually shows who and what you've done. And it shows what side you're on. It literally shows what side you're on. It shows who you are. I'm sorry, but I've said this time and time again that you can tell where people stand based on the way that they talk, based on the way that they talk about certain situations and certain subjects. You can tell where they stand politically. And I'm sorry, every time you get up referencing a Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk, it tells me what I need to know. It tells me everything that I need to know. And you keep avoiding the questions. The questions are, what are y'all doing for people who are hurting in this country based off of this current administration that we do have in office? What are y'all doing about it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Child. The people ain't talking to me this morning. Mm. Step hard, Chef. He preys on the ignorant and Ori. That's it, Crystal. That's it. That's it. I noticed that yesterday. I noticed that yesterday. And I'm just telling you, me and William will be different because you're not gonna skate around the question that I asked you. Because I think and then William tried to come back later on and ask the same question, but try to ask it in a different way. No, ask it the same way you asked it, because it was very straight to the point. With this current administration in office, what are you doing about the fact that people are losing jobs? You sit up here talking about prophesying about them losing jobs. What are you doing about it, though? What are you doing to help? I'm going to say it loud for the people in the back. The church should be the first place right now that should be helping people. That's just the way that I feel about it. Post pandemic, pre pandemic, all of these things, y'all have yet, a lot of y'all have yet to state where you stand. And when you don't state where you stand in this current economy, it tells me everything I need to know. It just I'm sorry, y'all. It just it just I I listened to that live last night, and I just literally just was like, bro, what is this? What is this? What are we doing? What are we doing? And again, stop saying that the bloggers are the downfall of the churches. No, if the churches weren't doing what they were doing, there would not be a necessity of us discussing them at all. Like, just there would be no necessity of discussing them at all if they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. So stop saying that like these pastors and leaders ain't out here doing what they ain't got no business doing. Period point blank. Y'all are destroying the church. Y'all are doing no how. Again, I'm not talking about the people who make up stories. I'm talking about and this actually ties into the fact that I said the other day that y'all love coddling and y'all love to protect predators and everything else. This just goes right along with that conversation that I've been having, and the people been mad. Crystal said, "I bet William McCray has been coached not to ask any more questions like that." I bet you so, Crystal Marshall. I bet you so. And that immediately was a turnout for me. That's all I kept saying in the chat yesterday. So you gonna answer this question? Cause that's what I need. I need you to answer this question about the current state of this country and the current administration that we have. I need you to answer those questions. But you will trample over those questions to give somebody a prophecy. He gave somebody a prophecy about their passport and going to Germany and Australia and Canada and everywhere else, honey. Asia, Nigeria, girl. He was going on about that, but when we had to circle back to that question still won't answer. It still won't answer. And that's another thing, Southern Phoenix. That's what it sounds like they want. It sounds like they want folks to cover up the church, cover up what's going on in the church. No, I'm very happy that the veil is coming off of the church. I'm glad. This is years in the making of what the church has done to people. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. And y'all don't gotta agree with me. No one has to agree with me with what I'm saying. I stand 10 toes down in what I'm saying, though. I stand 10 toes down in what I'm saying. Y'all have got to, y'all, man, say, between Bishop Jordan, between Manasseh, and between all y'all is being messy. And I don't know Mad Church Disease at all, but I did hear a snippet of him over on, I believe he's been in my chat a couple times, but I did hear him over on AT2's channel, and I agree with him when it comes to like this, like it being a slap in the face or it being like a dig at bloggers or whatever, for you to be having this let's teach the bloggers how to do this and let's teach the bloggers how to do that. Well, how's that going to happen when you be live on your platform prophesying to people with 12 folks in the chat? How you going to help me? How you going to help me? The most views that you get is when you're on other people's channel because they think you go, well, and they might got it right, but they think you're going to bring up mess and you're going to talk about Larry and you're going to talk about this and you're going to talk about this person and y'all still got an issue with the money that y'all sent Thais and Thais sent it back. Like I'm just be trying to figure out what's tea. What is really going on? But these are leaders that keep saying that we're destroying the church or that we're doing what? Why that can't? Why is what Thais did a talking point? Why is that not just left where it should have been left at? When the man did not want your money and sent it back, why wasn't it just left at that? But then y'all keep discussing it, and then it further justifies why he sent it back. Y'all discussing it, going on every platform to discuss it. Oh man, I really wanted to. It only proves what you guys are trying to do. It's like you trying to buy people, or I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's nasty work to me. It absolutely is nasty work. Just leave it alone. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. But that's what I had to say about Bishop Jordan. I watched that live last night, and I just was like, oh, this is kind of laughable. It's kind of laughable. My question I have is you're making fun of Larry Reed for the but you started it over there with him, if I'm not mistaken. Some sort of way, yeah. The 888, uh-huh, uh-huh. He laughing. And then I noticed something he said last night too. And let me point it out. Let me just point it out. One thing he said last night was, typically we ask for large amounts of money, but now we're just gonna ask for a seed of $10. $10 seed for William. We're gonna ask for $10. There used to be a time where we asked for a lot of money and large amounts of money. And I just couldn't help. I couldn't help but hear the things that he was saying. He was saying, oh, y'all need to operate with money. Y'all need to do this and y'all need to do that. And y'all need money to operate. And so is the only people's platform that you go to that need money to operate? Because these are the same platforms that are going to be at this meeting where all the other people won't be there. And in my humble opinion, this is probably really about to piss some people off. In my humble opinion, that should be free. Should. Since you want to give the people some pointers and stuff like that, since you saying that the bloggers are ruining the church, you should get this class or whatever you're trying to do. You should do it for free. I no longer attend church because these churches operate as business with production companies charging for seminars, donating to political campaigns, and I think they should be taxed accordingly. My. Well. Well, it's 8 a.m. It's 8 a.m. It's 8 a.m. We got 97 people up in here. It's 8 a.m. Can we get the people to bless the platform with $8? $8. It's 8 a.m. It's 8 a.m. $8 is our number for today. $8. $8 is our number for today. Bishop Jordan, miss me with the bull hucky. Miss me with the bull pucky. I'm sorry. You are messy. And I just got to go on and say it. And I don't know if the people are scared to tell the prophet that the prophet is messy, but the prophet is messy. The archbishop is messy. The archbishop and his son is messy. And you can't go around telling the bloggers that they are ruining the church. They're ruining the church. They're ruining this and they ruining that. Well, no, if these folks down to the church wouldn't give us nothing to talk about, we wouldn't have to get up here and talk about it. Oh, it's not. Hey, really, boo? It's 9:01 now. Well, when I looked at the phone, it was 8. Thank you, April, for your cash out blessing, honey. So I just again, y'all, I just think it's disgusting, and I just had to say something because I just felt like, girl. I mean, not girl like that, but y'all know this is my slang. But sir, and again, stop referencing Turning Point USA. It just tells me what I need to know, and it also proves that Larry didn't lie. Stop it. Well, Turning Point USA is an organization. Sir, you got one more time. You got one more time if I cut this off. You got one more time to reference Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. Y'all say that like it's a Christian organization or if that man was a Christian. He won't. I don't care what y'all say. Ain't no Christian around here sowing no discord like that. And you, my sir, Bishop Jordan, I do think that you should take your own advice on a lot of stuff. I do. I do. You're being messy. You're being messy. So we'll see where this go today, y'all. I don't know who channel they're gonna be on tonight. I'm sure they've been baby, they have outsold my tour. Do you hear me? Child. They have they have went and done they blogger tour. And I'm telling you, the platforms that they go on is the only platform that have been invited to this meeting or whatever meeting they supposed to have for the bloggers to do right. That's what they gonna do. Mm, mm, mm. I tell you, it's a lot. 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 But I had to bring this to y'all this morning because this is just what I felt down in my spirit. I felt the spirit telling me going down there and get the people a message. And that's what I did this morning. I had to come give y'all a message. Okay, so that's all I got thus far. That's all I got. Hey, Raymel, thank you, TT. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Again, these are just some things that stood out to me. If y'all want to go around there and watch the live, y'all can watch the live or whatever the case may be. But these were things that stick out to me, and I said, "Oh, we're gonna talk about this in the morning." Mm-hmm. We're gonna talk about this in the morning. Okay, we is. Okay, y'all. I got a lot that I want to say on Potomac. I got a lot I want to say on some other stuff. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to go live again until like 3. And then that's gonna be stupid for me to go live around that time because El Teddy, I'm sure, is going live around that time. Dang it. Thank you, Miss Kim. I got your Venmo, honey. I got your Venmo. Thank you so much. All right. So y'all have a good Monday. Let me go on and get to work. If you watch the replay of this, please make sure you hit the like button. Please make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. All right. And we just speaking truth to power over here, honey. All right. Y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.